let's actually try some examples with this now, using these, it says special triangles, but we're using the exact value with this diagram. Like I said, there's another way to do this with special triangles that you're more than welcome to look up. So it wants to know the very first one, example 1 here, all of these. All of these are on the chart. And so we find the following values without a calculator. So we can actually, if we made the chart, we can just read them right off there. If you learn the special triangles method, then you have to do a bunch of work for every single one of these questions, which is why I don't do it. So cos of 30. So we look at our chart. And cos of 30 is actually all of these left ones. All of these left ones are cosine. So maybe we should write that down. Cosine of whatever angle you're looking at is on the left. Sine of whatever angle you're looking at is on the right. So if I'm looking for cosine, I'm looking at the left. If I'm looking at 30, I'm looking at the 30 line, the 1 on the left. So it's root 3 over 2 because it's the 1 on the left, that's cosine, and I'm looking at the 30-degree line. So just root 3 over 2. Square root of 3 over 2. And that's it. Now, I'm going to just skip some of these. Sine of 45. Sine of 45. Look at the 45 one. So here's the 45 line. Sine is the one on the right. So look at the 45 one. Go to the one on the right, right here. Root 2 over 2. So sine of 45, you would just write as root 2 over 2. Now let's look at this one. Sine of 30. I'll do sine of 30 and cos 90. So first sine of 30. Sine of 30. So here's 30 right here. Sine is on the right, so it's a half. So sine of 30 is a half. And cos of 90, here's 90. Cos on the left, 0. So I have sine of 30, which is a half, and cos of 90, which is 0. So look at all you have to do is look at the chart. Sine of 30 is a half. Cos of 90 is 0. Now, I'm going to keep going here. I'm not going to do, I'll just stick with these ones here. Cos of 0 and sine of 60. Cos of 0, sine of 60. So here's the 0 line. Cos is on the left, so it's 1. Cos of 0 is going to be 1. I'm just going to write that down so I don't get mixed up. Cos of 0 is going to be 1. And sine of 60, so I'll look at 60. Sine is on the right, so here's my 60 thing. Sine's on the right, root 3 over 2. So sine of 60, root 3 over 2. Now, if you have a keen eye, you've noticed that I have not done a single tangent question. All I've done is sine and cosine. And that's because I've not actually told you what tangent is on this chart. I see cosine. Cosine's all the ones on the left here, and sine's all the ones on the right. So where's tangent? Well, tangent is technically on there, but it's a lot more difficult, which is why we want to make this chart so we can just read it off. Tangent is the sine of theta over the cos of theta. It's sine over cos. Or the right side here over the left. So when we're doing these, we have to do the right over the left. So I'll start with, I'm doing this in green here. So I'll start with this one. The right is 0. That's my sine. And then 1. So 0 over 1. 0 over 1 is 0. Then I have this. A half. Instead of writing a half over root 3 over 2, because it's right over the left, so it's the 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2. Instead of doing that, I'm going to write it horizontally. So a half divided by root 3 over 2. So that's exactly, these are exactly the same, just that this one's written vertically and this one I'm writing horizontally. So the reason I want it horizontal, if I can actually erase this thing, which apparently is impossible, is because when I have a division symbol, I can then flip the second and multiply. And if you do that, those can cancel. And I'm left with 1 on the top and root 3 on the bottom. So 1 over root 3. Here I get root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2. Again, I wrote it horizontally. Anything divided by itself is 1. So I'm left with that. And then I get this one, which is getting a little crammed here, but it's the right. Root 3 over 2 divided by a half. Well, that I'm going to go here. Root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's cancel out, and I'm left with root 3 over 1. So see, I'm doing all of these tangents. This one is the right over the left, so it's 1 over 0. You can't divide by 0, so it's not possible. Here, it's the right over the left, so 0 over -1. 0 over anything is 0. And lastly, this one is the right over the left, so -1 divided by 0. You can't divide by 0, it's not possible. So tangent was not on the list, but here it is. So you should pause it here, and you should try it yourself. Write all these down. I know I went through it really, really fast, but they are all here. So give this a pause and fill it out. Okay, so now I can actually answer the questions because all of my tangents are here. So, okay, tan of 90. So I'm going to go to 90 degrees and look at tangent. Tangent, not possible. It was 1 over 0. I can't do that. Okay, so not possible. And then I've got tan of 60 and tan of 0. Those are the last ones. So tan of 60 here, it's right there, root 3 over 1. And tan of 0 is 0. So root 3 over 1 and 0. So that's all there is to it. You just read it off the chart. Now, anything over 1, you don't actually have to write the 1 if you don't want. So you could just write it as root 3. It's also worth noting on this chart, you do see that one of them here, tangent, is 1 over root 3. That most times we don't want a square root on the bottom, so you have to rationalize it, which we did in an earlier unit. So you times top and bottom by root 3 to get rid of the square root, because you end up getting 1 times root 3, which is a root 3, and root 3 times root 3, which is a root 9. And square root of 9 is just 3. So you could write it as 1 over root 3, but often it's nicer to write it root 3 over 3. So when you come across tangent of 30, you can do that. So we'll pause it here to see, but I'm going to move it down to see if I've even asked myself or asked any tan of 30 questions. Tan of 30, okay. Is there a tangent? Oh yeah, here it is. So instead of writing 1 over root 3, I will write root 3 over 3. All right, so your job is to finish up the rest of these, and then the worksheet is all of these all over again. So you don't necessarily need to do it, but they might even be in the exact same order. But everything is on the chart. The next thing that we'll do will be a little bit more complicated, but you'll need to know this stuff. If you don't know the chart, if you don't know this chart, then there's no way you're going to pass the next section. So let's get started on that in just a moment.